Radio Legends. So we are on the water, as you can see, Lake Tyers. Just hanging out. Got the headphones in. Again, similar to the last stream last week, we are on the water just mucking around with some gear. So today, it's a little bit different because I've got a package. So basically, I've got a little bit of water on the screen, so I'll fix that up. But while I do that, I got a package from a diver, basically. And there's a bunch of stuff on there that'll come out this year. It's all been released at AFTA already, so I can show you the stuff. It's just not on the market at the moment. And we'll go through that now. Had some problems with the motor this morning. I've had a bit of a vent on social media about it, but I am waiting on a call back from Garmin. I don't know when they're going to call back, so I'm not going to wait all day. I've been waiting about an hour and a half already. But the motor, the steering is dead. We've gone for it's cost me a couple of hours this morning, but we've had a software update. We've had the resets on and off, turn it off for 15 minutes, turn it back on again, and mucked around there. And unfortunately, we don't have a motor. So we've got power though. I just need to manually steer it around like this, which is a bit of a pain, but we'll get through that. Now this morning, so I had about 5 casts. We're just on a random flat, probably, I don't know, about 600 meters from the boat ramp. And I've picked up a kilo, 1.1 to start with. She's in the live oil there. We'll get rid of her in a sec. She's just feeling a little bit sick after the fight. So I've just dropped something down that net. Don't know what that is, but we'll get to it. So we're just going to be mucking around now. What gear am I playing with? So I'm still playing with that Miravel that we saw last week. She is here. That bad boy there. I am playing with my favourite rod this year. I'm not going to hold any longer, but I do have one rod that is by far my favourite rod that I am the most excited about. I've been using the demo or the sample to that for around about a year, and finally I actually got the final version of it today. I think this guy is out in November, September, or somewhere in next month or so. So we'll be playing around with that guy. She's the one that got the fish this morning. And unexpectedly, I wasn't expecting this in the mail, but we picked up a battler. So one of the new battlers that is out. I basically said, look, I'd like something to throw some soft plastics around. So this guy is the guy that Daiwa have sent to play around with. Now, I've put a jig head on her. It's a 1/8 at the moment, so soft plastics kind of makes sense. But while I'm here, I'll throw a grub on. So let me have a look at this phone just to make sure the stream is up and running. But again, you guys have got the comments on the live stream where you can go nuts. You've got the that's actually going to get really annoying. Howdy. You guys have got those comments that you can get interactive on the channel and talk to me as I go through this bad boy. I've got my phone here next to me. Hi, Jamie. Good morning. But we'll probably only be live for about an hour or two, and then I've actually got to go because I've got scripts to talk about and I've got stuff to actually film today. So give you a bit of an idea of what the inside of my hatch looks like at the moment. These are the how I keep my my soft plastics, and that bad boy is the motor oil grub. You can see all the trays and stuff. This is just a bit of line that I put down there, but little jig head boxes. That green jig head box that you guys seem to love in the story that I was talking about yesterday. So pretty keen to give that bad boy a go today and over the next little month or so, really put it through its paces. So I'll put you back up there. I grabbed that motor oil grubs that I've got, and yeah, Ash, use the grub, the 2.5-inch grub. That's exactly what I'm doing. I spoke to Ash yesterday via text message. He's also in the military, and told him that I was leaving the organisation we'd work together, obviously, so you couldn't believe it. But don't forget to like the stream, everyone. Jamie, my man, with the support. I appreciate that, mate. Right, so I don't know if I can. I'll just quickly rig this up and then I'll show you guys. But obviously, we're using the new jig heads from Dyer as well. Again, they are. I only have them in 1.8 at the moment, and that's just a function of the availability that they've got. You know, obviously they're taking photos and doing all that sort of stuff. The other stuff, so I've just got to wait patiently till it's my turn to get some of the others. But quick rig, and that is that. And like last time in the stream, we will most likely, I expect, to only use the one through the whole thing. So on a bit of a flat, we've got to drop off just to my right hand side. There's another boat in front of me. It's got 3 dudes on it. But yes, that's what you see me doing there with my hand is basically what we're going to do for the next little bit. Let me know how the audio goes. Last time we had some noise cancelling going on, and I really found that quite frustrating. I don't know about you guys, but there's 4 dudes on that boat. Must be having a good old time. But on the playback, I found the audio really frustrating because it kept cutting in and out, and that was a little bit frustrating. Where are we fishing? Ben, we are fishing at Lake Tyers. Oh, shit. And I'll show you some fish. Just get the camera and I'll show you what I'm seeing on live stream. The handy thing about having this camera on my mobile phone. So there's probably no fish now that we've moved all over them. There's a couple of fish down there. But when we got to this spot just a second ago, there were fish absolutely everywhere. There's some more there, moving around. There's there. There was sitting mooching at the bottom there. See him moving around? There you go. So we'll try and see if we can get a handful of those today. They're a little bit deeper than where I got that last fish, which is why I've gone for the grub just to get a little bit deeper. But we're still in about 1.5 meters of water on that. They're just off the bottom. They are mooching around the bottom. So let's see. It's a 1.8 jig head on this plastic at the moment. Let's see if we can get to the bottom. But we did have a pretty heavy storm system go through Kippy yesterday, and that dumped a fair bit of rain. It was really, really windy actually, and that system looks like it's come through, and this is the clear area behind it. I expect the next couple of days there'll be another system that comes through and turns it all bad again, but the clear day after the storm, hoping that we do get a little bit of fish, or we do get some fishing. Or can catch some fish, I should say. But with the motor the way it is, I've got the wind to my back, and we're just going to use the wind for the majority of the day just to drift down. So we're at Lake Tyers. There's a church. I guess you can Google map it, but there's a big white church just over here. We're down the front of the system, in the back. Yeah, sorry, in the bay. I don't mind this rod. First time I've thrown it, I can definitely tell it is a plastics rod. So when I did talk to the guys about grabbing a plastics rod, they've nailed it. I actually really like it. But today, ironically, some of the filming I was talking about doing before is meant to be a review. And it's meant to be a review of the Garmin Force versus the Lowrance Ghost, which I think is hilarious because, as I mentioned before, we're down on the Ghost. The Force. She ain't working right now like she's meant to be. So a little bit of comical relief. I actually get frustrated. It's the second time that in the life of this unit I've had problems with it on days where I'm going to go film. And obviously that's quite frustrating, right? When I'm trying to film and trying to produce content and the GIF, doesn't work well for me. Frustratingly as well, I don't have a kayak right now. I've sold the kayak, so I'm kind of forced onto the boat, and then I don't have a motor. Oh, goodness me. So I'm hoping, we get some warranty under this bad boy. It is under 12 months old, so, and things break, and that's cool, and that's life, whatever. That's why we've got warranties. So we'll see how that goes. Nothing on the grub so far. Only a couple of casts. That fish I got over there, probably about 30 meters that way. She was on the double clutch 48. So we're probably going to put that bad boy on there. And I'm going to find any excuse I can today to throw a twitch bait, because the rod that I've been missing for a while is returned to me. Well, which is this rod here. So this is one of the new updated infeeds, or new models to the range, actually. And I love the thing. Initially, I had a prototype version or a sample version of this bad boy, and there's a hit. I actually snapped a guide putting it in and out of the rod locker, and I was devastated when that happened. So I sent it back. The guys have fixed it, and top effort to the boys, but I've ended up with one of the new ones, which is the ones that they're releasing, and somehow I've scored the demo that I broke, and they've replaced the guide on it for me. So I've now got basically two rods of exactly the same, two of my favorite rods, basically. I do have a number of rods that I think are bangers on this boat, and I'm going to do a video about probably the 7 or 8. I'll probably cover the 6 rods that I think are the best 6 rods for technique specific stuff in the light game. But my favorite, I do have one probably piece of equipment out of every category that is my favorite for the year, and this rod is my favorite rod for the year. I've obviously got the favorite lure of the year as well. Favorite reel, I don't know. What do you guys reckon? What do you guys reckon the best reel is for the year? Late tires. All right, cool. Let's go through some question time. So, what gear are you using? All right, so on the deck right meow. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, I do not have one thing that is the same. So I've got 6 rods on the deck, one in my hand, 5 rods on the deck. In my hand, I've got a new release of the Infeet. It's a 712 LFS, my favorite rod of the year. 712 LFS. I've got that paired with a Luvi. I think it's a 2020 Luvi. It's a 2500 shallow LT. What else have I got? I've got the brand spanking new that will be reviewed, is a 752. It's a top water specific rod that I am in love with. It's on a TD Black. It's not rigged up right now, but I want to use it today. So that 752 is a top water specific rod that I would love to see, that I would keep on my boat. It's under $200 as well, so in terms of value for money, it's a banger. Next to that, so I've got, this is the Daiwa side and this is the not Daiwa side, but next to that, I've got the new Skeleton SK infeeds that aren't on the market yet, released at AFTA, and that's paired with an infeed reel. It's a crank rod, that one, but there are 4, maybe 6 of them in the range, one of those 2 numbers. And those guys will be on market soon. They're very similar to a couple of other rods that are in the infeed range, but they're appealing to the people that like skeleton grips in that range, and I really think the colours are bangers on that rod. We've got a Battler that just arrived in the mail, so she's paired up. She's got the 1.8 jig head on her. Weed, when you catch a bit of weed. And she's got the Revelry sign, so she's nice and glowing red and all that sort of stuff there. I'll just actually put it to the side a little bit more. And off to the right hand side, I have a Samurai Infinite. Now, the Samurai Infinite rod that I've got, the model, I reckon is one of the best rods to ever hit the boat. I actually said that in front of a brand manager from another brand, and their eyebrows went pretty high, but it's got to be one of the best rods that's ever hit my boat, and I'm a real fan of it. I'll talk about it a little bit more when I do that banger video, but there was a rod in that Infinite range that I did not like, and I spoke to the guys at Frogleys, Joe Allen actually, and I said, look, I'm looking for this type of rod. I'm not really impressed with whatever I had. And I gave him the model number, and he went, man, if you're looking for that rod, check this one out. Just throw this and then tell me what you think a little later. And sure enough, I got my hands on it, and it is an absolute banger. It's got an atomic crank 38 on there at the moment, straight through fluorocarbon, but that's it here. That rod is, like I said, it's one of the best rods to hit the boat. And lastly, I've got the Shimano Miravel, and again, I actually really rate that reel. I've really enjoyed it, and currently I've got it paired. There's not a lot of sign on this side. There's a lot more sign on that side, and that was the front side of the bank. We're hitting the back side of the bank at the moment. Might be quite indicative, I wonder. Nothing in the next 50 metres or so. We'll punch probably 200 metres down this way up to the next point. Yeah, and that's with a Tico Premium that you've seen on this channel a fair bit. So that is the 20 bits of gear that are just on the deck at the moment. I've probably got another dozen or so rods underneath. Not so many reels though. We're running short on reels, says the guy with lots of gear. Can't totally a gear addict on this boat, aren't I? All right, is it heating up? Yeah, man, it is a little bit warm. Not too warm. And the weed here has just changed. It's got a little bit of that snot weed on it. I don't know if you guys know what snot weed is. That stringy weed that gets all over the green weed. I know it as snot weed. And I never really like fishing around it. I just don't have the best experience of fishing around snotweed. I don't know if that's all in my head. You know that it goes like a light browny colour. Oh, there's a fish following this. I can see it. Can hit it. So what we've got right now is we've got a shadow, two shadows following my lure off the sand into the weed. And I can see them. I don't think they're going to hit it. They're following it. No drill. There's just a couple more darker shadows on this flat that I might give a go. They seem to be moving around a little bit of patch, like in patches. So we'll see if we can get these guys to bite. Hopefully, I can show you a fish. Like I said, this morning started after we got through those equipment issues. This morning started really well. It was about 3 casts before I had that kilo fish. But it is quite calm. Where I was fishing before was a little bit more wind. Not seeing a whole lot of movement here. Anyway, so that is what we're doing this morning. Throwing some new stuff, but that's a big fish. Why would you jump on my lure? Right, what else we got? Yeah, so that's the pig gear I'm using. How's it going, big man? Good, Anthony. What's your best setup and lures this year? Oh, well, I kind of already answered that. Snotweed, yeah, it's the worst weed. Totally, dude. Any bites are still in the boat? Luv is still the champion. Yeah, Peter. Luvy's like this. this staple, right? Like I'd challenge a lot of people. Like if someone had said to me they were taking the Livy off the market, I'd raise my eyebrows a little bit. I do definitely think that the Livy is what's the right word? It rules that. Is it $500? It rules that $500 market, I reckon. There's another big Brimbo. Okay, so they're here, but maybe these ones aren't biting because there's not a lot of wind, not a lot of surface breakup. Maybe I'm working it a bit too fast because I'm talking to you guys. But there's a bit more of an exposed point down there. We're kind of getting into the back area right now, so I'm just going to move. Even though I can see fish, these ones aren't. They're doing the typical Lake Tyers thing and they're not biting. Best setup this year. Ooh. What do you think your best setup? What do you reckon? What's your dream best setup? What do you reckon your best setup is this year so far? What are you guys using? I know it's a bit of an open question. Actually, I might throw this one. Crank 38, real slow rolled. It's not really yeah, solid rod. It's the Fin 6 dash F69, 6'9", fast, 2 to 6 pound. Slow rolling the crank through here just in case they want this. But if they don't take this, we'll move up and I'll get that twitch back out. Oh, look, I can see you. I can see you. Stuff, yeah, I can see you swimming. Right, so that's going to be ahead of you there. 5 meters ahead of you. Oh, he's come over it. Eat the thing. Come on, Bruss. He's looking at it. Far out, the water's clear. Slowly, he's coming at it. Oh, he's turned away. How frustrating is that? See the fish just chase it. And then, I picked up a bit of weed. I wonder if that's why. Oh, you get all excited and stuff. You see a fish do that. Not to me this time. Maybe a little bit. Right, so we'll move up a couple hundred meters. And you'll see the head isn't parking itself in that 3-9 kind of position. It's a bit frustrating. Rightio. Dude, I just saw that you've got someone's donated some coin. Bruh, like you didn't need to do that, but you are awesome for doing that, Benjamin. Gee, big thumbs up for you, dude. Big thumbs up, alright. Just got a motor up, we're not going to bang it too bad. Best setup at the moment would be a 16 Luvius, a Miller Brawler, and yeah, Matt, that's a nice rig, mate. Jesus, boy, this is going to be fun. It's going to be right. Absolutely gorgeous. Speaking of sight fishing, what sunnies are my favourite? Look, really good question. So, actually, let me just motor up and then I'll get off this because I want to talk about that one. All right. Just started. Good luck. Hey, Big Kev. So, what sunnies are my favourite? Look, I went down the path of grabbing as many sunnies as I could. I'm just floating here on no noise to see if I can disturb it, if we're going to disturb any fish. But um, I went down the path of purchasing almost every brand's worth of sunnies, and they are currently on the boat. I got laughed at recently by one of the nonnies that opened up my glove box, and there was just, like I said, every brand was in there. Probably like every brand is known for fishing in the Australian market. So I'm wearing right now Maui Gyms, and I came to the realization that there are slight differences between them, particularly in low light. But for the most part, find a frame. If you're buying glass, for the most part, you're not gonna tell the difference when you stick to the major brands. Like if you're at Maui Gym or you're at uh, Tonic or insert brand. I just can't think of them on live stream right now. I'm very nervous. Um, but if you stick to those and you go a glass lens that is not a poly lens, like you got to stay away from those. Those are cancer, or they can be. Um, but you do that, and you're going to have a pretty good solution for your eyes. But you need to find a frame that fits your face, that you're comfortable with. That if you're a fashionable guy, that looks nice, that you like grabbing and reaching for. And admittedly, and I really do not mind admitting it, and it's not really that controversial, but um, I'm in the sport of tournament fishing, and I have a natural propensity to support the people that enjoy and support and pump money into my sport. So, am I going to be wearing Oakleys anytime soon? The answer to that is no, and not because I don't like Oakleys, but it's just a simple matter that Oakleys could be pumping 20, 30,000 into our sport, and they're not. So why would I do that? Why would I support that brand? In terms of performance, like I said, many of them are, a top end fishing glass is good. HWS, for example, they have tonics, and as a function of that, I don't mind. I've had a number of tonics. They've got this new neon lens actually that's really nice and low light. But I generally have to switch to another lens when it's high light like it is today. So right now I've got a green mirror on. It's a Maui Gym one. And Maui Gym is sponsoring ABT. There's a relationship there. They are up the road on Daiwa. Their head office is just up the road on Daiwa. And Daiwa is obviously the naming rights sponsor for ABT as well. So to give you a bit of an insight, if I want money spent in the sport that I love, oh, yes, I can see you. You're paralleling it. Man, you're too close to the boat though. All right, so I just got the lure close to the boat, and I saw like a dark submarine probably sitting about a meter away from it. They're not really committing to it this morning. They're just kind of following it around and looking at it. So if I can get a fish that has got competition, like I can get the fish close to, so I can get the lure close to two fish, that'd be nice. Yeah. So that's what I think about. If you're a yak hunters guy, I'd have a look at who sponsors the yak hunters. If you're a ABT or a tournament dude, like I'd look at who sponsors your local tournament. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, we want investment into our sport. And if you go off and support a brand that doesn't support the sport, I just think that that's obviously your decision. But why wouldn't you? Why? You know what I'm trying to say, right? I'm doing a horrible job at it. You know what I'm trying to say. Right, so just have a look at the time. 10:52. Looks like I've lost the battery. Rambles on. All right, speaking of sight fishing. What crank colours for murky tan and water? I like UV colours in that scenario. So it's murky kind of tan and water right here at Lake Tyers, and I've got I think they call it the Ebby in the double clutch 48, but the Mo Ebby. It's got a high UV green underbelly to it, and I don't mind that. It's flashy as well. Seems to work okay down here in Vic. It's not my favourite, but a lot of guys rip on those flashy colours. Look, why are these fish? So we're disturbing fish. Let's throw the grub for 5 minutes. It's a good excuse to use the new battler while I try and keep my pants up and don't show you too much ass crack. I tell you what, in terms of products to talk about, I have absolutely loved a clothing set that I recently got, and I got it from the States. I ordered it using a mail redirect service, and it's the Guggen stuff. I have absolutely loved it. I have not come across a brand in Australia yet that I've got gear that has fit or has been so thoughtfully minded as I have from Guggen. Now, Guggen's obviously a YouTube channel in the States. It's all about fishing, and I've got no affiliation with them. But so this jumper that I'm wearing right now, right? So it's a hoodie. It's got the thumb holes in the side, but also, like on the cold mornings, which is what it was this morning, inside it's got a. Let's see, let's put that down. It's got a face scarf, and it's a thicker material as well. Obviously, we've got some holes and stuff in there as well. But I really rate their fits as well on their jerseys. I'm wearing a jersey underneath this as well as theirs, but um, nothing in Australia that I've come across has been as good as a fit as what these guys are producing. Now, I don't know if it's American made, but for sure, most of the companies in Australia that I've tried, are Chinese made fishing product manufacturers and stuff like that. You know, that's a generalization. I get it. Not every one of them is like that, but I'm sure you're appreciating what I'm saying as well. The stuff is uber expensive though, unfortunately. Um, so we're just trying deep off the drop off here because it is sunny at the moment, and it's kind of mid morning. We're getting into lunch soon, lunchtime, 11 o'clock. So I'm just trying the deeper little areas to see if those fish have come off the drop. Be a bit embarrassing if I don't get any fish, or at least it just takes me a little while to figure it out. But there is a place around the corner here that we'll try next. Looks a little similar to where we are now, but a little bit more weedy and grass. I've got some feeding holes underneath me. You know those divots that brimbos make. All right, let's have a look. So put some extra scent. Yeah, JG, probably, mate. I haven't put any scent on yet. That'll be it. What scent? Somebody choose what scent they want me to put in. I've got S Factor. I've got the Procure. I've got the Berkeley blue stuff as well that I don't mind on hard bodies. Somebody tell me what to throw on there and I will throw it on there. Yeah, Jeff, the new Vex Detonators. Nah, I haven't. I saw them get released. I honestly would have loved to have tested that stuff, but I didn't get anything from Vex, and I think a couple of other anglers got some product, which is nice, but honestly, I didn't see much out of them. That's a stab in the nicest, kindest way. If you're giving new products, you should really be reviewing them and talking about them, and doing a reviewer's kind of job, if that makes sense. Acknowledging that not many people do review in Australia. Nonetheless, I would have liked to have seen a lot more about that product before it hit the market. We've got S Factor with Jamie with the first call, so that's what we're going to do. I wind this bad boy in. There it is. Grab the S Factor as requested and randomly chosen, and we'll throw it on there. Hey, if I get a fish on the first cast, Jamie, it's all you, mate. It's all you. There we go. Bit of S Factor. Throw that bad boy there. The pump is still underwater as well, which is nice. All right, so you've got S Factor on the grub. Is there a scent that I should throw on the hard bodies? That's the next question. Look, and there's still fish down here. I can see them on the live scope. They are mucking around, but they're not overly eaten. And I've seen that at Tyers before. Hey, a bunch of fish is hanging out, not eating. Yeah, agree with the best thing sport the rant. We'll save the rant from my experience at other sports where it didn't have and the whole community suffered. Yeah, totally. So this is probably something I didn't understand, and that's okay. Like it's okay to not understand that um, you want money in the sport, right? So here's an example. You want a company. So Morgo is in ABT tournaments at the moment. Morgo produces a myriad of things. So the first one that he produces or that he has is a sporting tournament competition for anglers, right? The second thing, as a byproduct of that, is a platform to advertise, and he also produces a number of pieces of content per event. And for him to do all of that requires coin. You can imagine, the iPhone that and the data that I'm live streaming off right now. There's a couple $1,000 just for me to produce this content for you guys, and I love doing it, right? So it's my hobby. But imagine if I had somebody throwing me thousands of dollars, i.e., it's you guys, the audience, which is bloody awesome in my opinion. But I've got a sick community on this channel that I'm really, really flattered to have. But on the bigger scale, imagine if that was $100, or sorry, imagine if that was $20,000. It just means that the live streaming capabilities are on the boats, the content for you guys that you see gets better. The free pairs of sunnies that get given away instead of a pair of sunnies, which realistically cost a company $50 or something, even though they might retail for 300. You end up in a situation where the winner, or you get prizes down to 10th. Let's go to the extreme. Bass Pro or Bass Nation in the Elite Series in the States. Those guys get payouts down to 20th, and I think it's ridiculous amounts of money as well. Don't quote me here, but let's say they get like 10 grand payout if they come in the top 20. It's nuts, and the winner takes home 100 grand per round. 100 grand per round. Not to mention that's the Bass Nation aspects or the Elite Series, and then you've also got the FLW series that are doing exactly the same thing. Another 100 grand per round. That is what is a direct function. All of that is a direct function of sponsorship, particularly sponsorship from outside of fishing. And that type of sponsorship is only rewarding if the community inside it promote not only the product, but the brand, and they get behind it and support it. If you told me that Toyota was putting $7 or $8 million into the ABT in a year, I would look at anybody a little bit weirdly that didn't buy a Toyota that was a fisherman later. Like it just wouldn't make sense. Like, now that's an absurd amount, but I'm sure you understand. I appreciate the notion. If Toyota put 300 grand into ABT, I sure as shit would be thinking 100% about buying a Toyota next time I bought a vehicle. So that's what I think about sunglass fishing and supporting brands. So the flat has turned into a little bit more of a heavier drop off here. We're still in the drop off, casting up onto the shallows, but the wind has just picked up ever so slightly on this edge. So I am still throwing this grub around. No joy in the grub at the moment. And I'm gonna switch back. Oh, there's actually a fish following that. Just for a little submarine looking thing. And if you're thinking this is getting really annoying, watching me change my motor head constantly, try doing it yourself. It's hard. I really want to fish on this rod to feel how it feels loaded up. It feels great just working it. Butt length is probably, oh, it's probably about right. Actually, you know what? I might throw the Spike 44 around just a second. I hope that answers your question. Does that answer your question, dude, that you're talking about before? So differences in types of lens. What brands do they make? Yeah, they do make a difference. Somebody said to me a little while ago that they just couldn't wear one particular brand's worth of lens because it made their eyes just feel weird. Um, and I definitely have tried lenses before, and I've just gone, nah, I can't use them. You know, the eyes need to adjust. It hurts my eyes to use these lenses. To me, that usually happens with those polymer lenses, the plastic lenses. And I was with the company for a little while before I understood all of this when I was really getting into fishing, and I'd signed with a company, and they had a range of plastic lenses, and like I tried them for a good year or so. I was really eager. I actually tried them for a little bit longer than that, but it was one of those things where you just put on and you're like, yeah, okay, they're good. I'll use them, but I just don't know if I really rate them or not. And uh, that's when someone said to me, I was quietly having a chat to someone about them. I was like, hey, look, I really like, I just don't know about these lenses. And actually, that's what it was. I failed an eye exam at work, and we get eye tested, quite regularly in the Air Force. And I failed an eye exam, and I was like, what the? And I spoke to my doctor, and the doctor went, dude, what glasses are you using? Had a look at them, and went, you're using these poly plastic lenses in the high vis sun like you are. Stop using them and stop using them now. Go to glass. And he explained why, and I've really enjoyed my experience since then. But we're about to move 100 metres up. Actually, one last look guy. So that's put away. Let's go with this guy. So that's the story behind the lens situation. Go glass. If you're if you're in an estuary, like a copper with a green tinge, works well. Copper is usually like a good default, but if you want to get rid of the green, wear a green lens. If you're a little bit more open ocean and water, go for a blue tinted lens. Basically, match the water with the lens that you've got, and that will help. In the morning, so yeah, like I said, that tonic neon color, that lens that I've got, it's pretty nice. Or a yellow, but just be cautious when you've got the yellow. Definitely don't wear it all day. Get rid of it at some stage. I have made the mistake of wearing the yellow all day, getting at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. My eyes are just, I don't know if you'd call them sunburned, but they just hurt. Just couldn't watch telly, couldn't watch anything. Bright, bad headache. Right, I'm not liking this little bank, so we're going to go up. See that little point up in the distance there? That's what we're going to go in a sec. I give that point. Man, I love this one. Just feels so good. So 7-1, right? Like you usually get rods that are like 6'10" or 7'3". It's in this mid range where a short guy like me can tap down like that and twitch and not hit the water, which is great. Um, and it's not too long where it doesn't feel like an extension of your arm. It really does feel like an extension of your arm. There you go. It's a good little marketing tool there, Byron, for later. Extension of your arm. Sweet. Just jag myself. All right, moving. Right, let's have a look at some comments. There's probably only about 20 of us on here or something, isn't there? 22, yeah. Thanks for the help. No, it's my pleasure, dude. My pleasure. That's what the channel's about, right? Yeah, Daniel, looking to buy new sunnies. What are you looking at? What brands are you looking at? What are you going to use them for? We'll talk it out just a little bit. Actually, a couple of you, can you do us a solid? I really don't do marketing well on. So I really don't do marketing well on social media while I'm on social media. So if someone wants to share the link on Facebook or something, and get more people watching, that'd be cool. That'd be a real tops. Get some people in here. Yeah, remember to smash that like button if you're enjoying the live stream. I feel like every YouTuber needs to say those words, to be relevant. It's almost like the standard. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe. I'm totally guilty of it. All right, so we've got a little point here off the left-hand side. I'm sure you can see that in the live stream, but I've definitely collected some fish off this point before. It's a rocky bottom. There's a lot of rubble, and when I got fish off it last time, there were it was actually pretty hectic. The wind was pretty wild, just smashing up against this point, which is what led me to go there. I'd never been to the point before, and I've only been back once since. And there seems to be a little bit of wind on it at the moment, so we'll see if we can pick up something. You've got your throwing the grub out with your S factor in there, Jamie, and okay. Currently in 4 meters. It's a sharp drop off. I'll just throw these poles down now so that they will drag into the ground when I get to 3 meters. Oh, they're touching now, so that's a bit odd. All right, one cast. Actually, no, we'll go straight for that jerk back. Radio, been looking at you, Sonnies. Thanks for all the advice. Sweet. I fished the Mitchell, the Nico, Lake Tyers, have spotters, but I'm looking for something. Take a bit more glare out of the water. Yeah, cool. So, are they copper lenses? Is my first question. Is that the lens? Because I would say that you want a copper base lens, and then maybe have a green filter over the top. And you'll see most lenses, like the one that I'm using at the moment, are exactly what we're talking about. Oh man, I can't see any fish here. No good sign either on the live scope. Just a bit of not a good look. Usually don't see individual fish on live scope, but what we do see is sign of bait. And I think if you're talking live scope with anybody that is in the bream scene that's not hunting for like barrel, big schools of bass or whatever, um, the big one for me is seeing bait and just general movement and baity areas on live scope. That's what it does for me. I never really see a fish. I mean, I might have seen one fish once take a lure whilst like fishing with the live scope, but that's not really how I've had the best use out of the live scope technology. It's all been one fish. It's all been just seeing the signs that fish are around and then converting from there. Yep, there we go. Fish on. Now, it would have been nice to really have a working anchor lock on the trolling motor right now. And drag it out. It's not the biggest fish, but I've been disguised a few times here. Okay. Now that came in off the rocks. I love this rod. Anyway, that came in off the rocks here. I would can't do two things at once. She's actually a nicer fish. She came in puppy dogging at the start, and now she's And now that she's deep, she's seen the boat. She don't like it. She don't like it a lot. All right, here we go. We go swimming this way. Where's my non-boater? Oh yeah, maybe a 600 gram, 500 gram fish. Not a huge one. I'll give you guys a look. Oh, I don't know. She's just maybe not as big as that 1.1 that I got straight up this morning. Gotta do this. To the fork, she's 35, so 900 grams. Calling it for like a 500. She's a 900 maybe 850. Although she's a little bit fat. Anyway, whatever. Let's not get too sexed up on the weight. So that's a double clutch 48 that we got her on. Nice healthy fish. Look at it. See what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like a big fish, but for some reason she's measuring her. She's measuring like, oh, mouth closed there. Gorgeous little thing. A little bit. She's healthy. She's not the fattest fish that's getting around. So that's nice. I'll throw her in. Actually, should I keep her? No. No. Let's keep her. There we go. See you later. Right. Double clutch 48. Still such a great lure. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care. It's my favourite lure. Catches, it's caught the most fish for me. Actually, no, that's a lie. The motor oil grabber's caught the most fish for me. It's just such a joy to fish with the small double clutch. Such a joy. And unfortunately, without the working electric, I've drifted onto the area. What do you do, right? What do you do? Oh, that was another hit. Or was it a rock? Let's go for the hit. The line's directly over the camera right now. Let's go this way. Last little first fish on camera this morning. Only took like 3.5 hours on the live stream. Not embarrassing at all. I wanted to tell you guys, I was like, oh yeah, we got fish here before. Dang. Is it the third casting? Maybe the second. Let's keep that going. What we're going to do is just take a drift. It's probably at half walking pace, like 2 kilometers an hour or something. All right, cool. So, Jamie, I'd recommend these ones, and I'm going to recommend them because of all the reasons that I mentioned before. So, these are Maui Gyms, right? They are the copper green base. You can see they're growing green. They're Maui Gym MJ804-2M. Actually, they're called Makoa. Makoa. Makoa STG-GM. Green Mirror. I think that's the GM at the end. Again, why do I recommend them? Because I really enjoyed using them, but and they're nice, and I'm using them now, and I'm sight casting fish. But also, they are an ABT sponsor, and they put money into our sport. But yeah, that's specifically what you want, right? If you were to ask me for low light, I'd probably pull out another pair and tell you those ones. But, all right, so just going to throw the poles down here for a sec. See if I can just fan this little area where we've got that last fish. Hopefully we can get some fish. The poles have gone down. We'll generally still rotate just a little bit. I don't know about you guys, but I always feel like, you get one fish, like brimming. It's like you get one fish out of a pack, and then there's another pack like 30 meters down. It's almost like that pack had their own territory, and between two different packs, there's like a bit of no man's land. That's what I always find anyway. I find it a little bit interesting. But yeah, I reckon in hindsight, even though that fish was 35 to the fork, it still only looked like 750 grams, honestly. Didn't look like Usually 35 to the, so 36 to the fork. The golden rule, gents, here is 36 to the fork is a kilo fish. It's like 1.03 technically on the scale, so we call 36 to the fork 1 kilo. So you go to 35 to the fork, technically it's smaller than that, by 100 grams or so. Larger variability, larger variables in the higher sizes, but yeah, twitch. This this motor. Oh, that was a touch. That was another. Oh, was that a rock? That's a rock. Little rocky outcrop there. For those who are unfamiliar with the live stream, I can talk or not talk as much as you want, but you guys have got to prompt me. Yeah, so the blue lens, I would say, is like open ocean. Oh, what a beautiful day. A little bit of wind around. Almost perfect fishing conditions. Perfect fishing conditions would be another some bit of cloud. So we got that morning blade that was on us before. Um, last a little bit longer. But, yeah, I was on there for a second. So if you're new to the live stream, make sure you smash that like button for me and support the channel. But we have this morning a couple of fish. So we've had a 750, 800 grammer, and then we had a 1.1. Now the 1.1's in the well at the moment because we got her just before I started the live stream, and I haven't gotten back to her, but she wasn't looking too good at the end of our little tussle. So it did go. Our little tussle did go for a little while. So I just threw her in the live well. Um, for the moment, obviously, we're catch and release on the boat, so she'll go back, but I'll probably should show you that as well. So I'm going to live stream here for a couple of hours, maybe another hour and a half or 90 minutes or so. I'm going to bounce, and I'm doing that because I've actually got some content to film that I'd like to release this weekend. Now, initially, it was the Garmin Force versus the Lowrance Ghost video, but we all know what's going on there. So I'm going to have to come up with something on the fly, I think, which is awesome. I'd be keen to hear whether you guys are missing the product reviews or whether you want more, smart word, whether you want more lifestyle kind of content. It was awesome finishing that ABT series. But I do have I do have the Tweed River film. I've also got some stuff with Jared Stevens filming the Muscle Vibe that we were meant to do a little while ago, but we didn't get a lot of fish, so we didn't end up finishing it. Oh my god! Look at you fish! I can see you. So in front of me, I've got a flat on my left. On my right, I've got the drop off, and in front, I've got like in the pathway here, I've got like a row of dirt, sand, and the fish are just which is the drop off, and there's fish just going left, right, and centre on them. But they're not. It's got to work out a little bit of a pattern to find out why they're not biting my lure. There's another one just there. There's a little hidey hole. Yeah, thanks, Jamie. I love that. I love making that series. There's just some seriously good anglers and some good personalities that wanted to get involved. I actually had the next series of people lined up as well. So there's some guys in there that were non-boaters that had now have boats, um, and there's some guys that I'd spoken to do the next series. And Chris Hickson wasn't in this series for this year because he's travelling around Australia with his family. But I certainly had Chris lined up to do. I was thinking about doing a kayak one as well, a couple of kayak rounds, and getting some personalities out of that. But yeah, it would have been nice to get the opportunity to probably do another ten dudes. I think I only got about 6 or 7 done this year. Um, but there's a lot of guys that have got some pretty cool stories, and fishing has brought all these people together, and I think that's really cool. I really do think that is really, really cool. Right. All right, we've probably got 40 metres to the end of the point, which is what we'll take it to, and where we'll fish down to. I'm just going to throw a couple of casts off the deeper edge here, just to see if they're on this first drop off. See if I can pull the grub back up. If not, we will run through that spike 44. So I've got it in a pink Suji on here as well. Clunk. I won't give you the big clunk. That big clunk. We all know that big clunk. That's the clunk that I want. Maybe I should turn the hydro wave on. Hydro wave. Press menu to continue. Barrel boof. Barrel service. Bony brim. Dew croaker. Mangrove jack. Mullet finesse. Let's go with that. Who doesn't like a mullet for that? Finesse. About 30% blade. Oh, and that cast really, really well. I like that rod. Let's go with like a real erratic smack, 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 smack. Stop. See if they want it like that. What happens is you do this, right? And then a fish hits it, and they're like, you're not ready for it because they hit it hard when you're doing that. If that technique works. If that technique works. Best part about that, new tickets, didn't have to reset the lure. Right, we covered up to a point, so I'm hoping a couple of fish on this bad boy. If not, we're going to move to a vast open flat a little bit further up the system, probably about a 3 or 4 minute drive. Just going to navigate a bit of a shallow triangular edge that pops out. You guys are awesome for supporting. Thanks very much for the donate that I saw earlier today, and for those who donated last week as well. G'day, Madeline. It's my #1 supporter right there, Madeline Hill. She says it's her surname is I. Funny that. She had the privilege that I gave it to her. I'll get in trouble for that comment when I get home. Yeah, beautiful wife's at home, obviously. Took the kids to daycare this morning. Oh, we found a little bit of. Yeah, that's a shame. Yeah, kids to daycare and school this morning for me. But she, like me at the moment, we're just going through all our stuff, trying to sell and get rid of all the stuff that we don't want to take to the States with us. And I tell you what, that is bit of a nightmare to get through, actually. It's a lot of stuff to get through. It's always been a bit fun. It's almost like we're starting new, like everything's starting new, new job, new country. Not the new channel, like we're still going to be doing private reviews and stuff over there, and still be doing a bunch of stuff for the Australian industry. I'll just be catching different fish. I'll still be doing this stuff. Um, and I don't know if live streaming will work because it's almost like 12 hours out. It's literally on the wrong side of, um, of our time zone here in Australia, which will be a bit of an adjustment. That's okay. All right, nothing yet so far on that guy. So I've got a bit quiet here. Evidently, the fishing's been quiet all morning. All right, spike 44. Now, if the wind is this way, where am I going to get the best kind of effect on the banks? The bank that I'm about to go down has got it going all the way down here to the. Tell you what, it gets exhausting talking to you guys all day. Last time, I think I went for like 6 hours or something or other. Far out, I was tired by the end of it. Just fine. Oh, bucket list species to catch. Jessica, what a good question. So, I know this is going to probably disappoint you. Actually, no, but I've had like I've been to Alaska, I've been to the States before, I've caught a bunch of different fish around there, but I haven't caught a dolphin fish yet, hey. And it's really embarrassing to say that because a lot of people have. And mahi, like I had one hooked up, and the closest I've come was the guy, or the crew on the boat. We lost it at the boat. It's easy for me to say he lost it, but whatever. We lost it at the boat, and I was really devastated by that. Actually, it's kind of like unfinished business for that fish. But we've got tuna in Hawaii before, offshore doing that stuff, and in Alaska I've done the halibut and the salmon, and that was a lot of fun 2 years ago. That one. Um, right, I don't like this edge. I never have liked the edge. Not one bit. Not one time have I ever enjoyed this little stretch of edge. I don't know what it is. Probably producers for some people. For me, never, ever, ever. Mahi's on the top of your list. Yeah, totally. That's what happened. I don't know what it is. You lost a mahi. I lost one as well. It was crazy, crazy. Not 100% sure why. Not sure if it's something to do with their mouths or whatnot. But it's funny, right? I watch a guy on YouTube. What's his name? YBS Youngbloods. Someone tell me his name down there, but he goes free diving and catches mahi all the time. Get real jealous. Real jealous. All right, let's go. All right, so I haven't caught fish here in a little while, but the wind is pushing right to left on your screen right now, and that's exactly what we want on this flat here. It is quite a large flat that does meet some what do you call that? Meet some weed, so sandy, weedy kind of break up there. Oh yeah, my wife says that he lost it, as in the guy on the boat lost it, not me. That was actually a really nice trip, Darwin. Hawaii. Think about it. We're living in the States again. Free. What you don't know about it is that you get free. If you're a pilot, you get free travel in the States. Obviously on the standby list and stuff. So that'll be real nice. Hey, obviously with the staff travel being a kind of nice little perk there as well. That'd be good. Um, so I've probably got between what you see and the boat right now, probably another 15 minutes to get there. But we've just got like open rocky flat. Actually, it's not completely open. There's rock and there's weed. But the thing that's nice here is that the wind is pushing from my six from behind you in the camera to in front. I actually fished this area with Kevin Beams a little while ago. He's on the Blue Bottle Marine or something. I don't know. He's on a team that I always forget their name. Some shit bloke. As we get here, poles are going to go down, and just going to watch to see if we can see anything. I like that point behind me, just a little bit nicer than what I'm here, but I figure we'll make our way over there. Far out, I like this rod. What is it? 701. Interesting. I must like that round. That's another mid-sized rod. LXS. Solid tip. ATS. Fast Hawk, they call it. Fast Hawk. It's because it's fast, yeah. I get it. I echo those comments. It's definitely a fast. That's over some weeds. Stop. That's on the sand now. Probably just working a little bit too fast, but I just want to see if they're, they're infinite. Just not right now anyway. Oh, back to you. Back to the law that's called all fish. Wouldn't mind it, guys. Can you tell me if the audio's going all right, please? Whether it's cracking up and doing its noise cancelling stuff that I don't really want it to be doing. Brody Masters it next time. 11:38. Just as a bit of a trend from the fish that I've caught today, they haven't come super shallow. So I'm going to try and continue to try and do it, but they've all come from like the one step off the bank, that first drop off, where it goes to green. And what I am going to do is throw this for probably 5 or 6 casts and then try a different colour, just to see if they want some silver. Throw that around for a few casts. Oh, close. Or maybe it was a bit of weed. Probably weed. More weed. There must be some shiny weed in that area. I'm not going to cast there anymore. Let's go. This little spot over here. Let's go. There's a gap in the weed. Let's move. Start making our way to the point that I said getting fish on. Yeah, look how good this looks. In from our right to left. Broken weed. Such great sign. Huge guys. Pick up weed. Lots of weed around. It's one of the benefits of not having anything rigged up classically. As in, sorry, the motor not working. One of the benefits of having a motor not working is that I tend to be using it a lot less than what I would usually. So much snot weed here. I'm moving. Snot weed is gross. Let's go back to the front of the system. There's a couple of banks there that I didn't hit at the start of the day. It's funny when you go to a system for 3 or 4 months how much it changed. It's like this knotweed wasn't really like there was a little bit of around here last time I was here, but nowhere near the extent of this stuff. It's pretty hefty. Obviously, fish still live in it, right? So, oh my god, I just went past like a mother load of brimbos. Still going past them. Which is unfortunate. So here I am now. So the next patch is probably going to be that far away. Drops down. So we've disturbed one patch of fish. This means that the pack dogs a little bit. They're probably not going to be any within a casting distance. So I'll just move a little bit and then see if we can get onto the next little patch of fish. Again, they were pretty far out, like 100 metres from the shoreline there. Just waiting for that 2 kilo fish that I'm still waiting to catch. Like I wouldn't be upset if it came today. Oh, bugger! Fish following underneath. It's always a little bit frustrating, isn't it? Trying to think in my brain right now what other rod I've got out there that I can use as a twitch bait to just quickly throw another double clutch on it. Absolute murder. You know what? I'm going to keep doing live streams on this bloody thing with this unit the way it is until it gets fixed. Like Tyers, eh? Not turning it on. This little patch that I am on right now used to be all sand, probably 6 months ago. And it's just covered with green. So it's with snotweed and weed. Alright. I was hopeful for this edge. Truly I was. But the common denominator seems to be more rock than it does weed today. So we're going to go do that. There's a bit of an outcrop ahead of us. Just a little bit of rocky outcrop, so I'm moving quickly at the moment. We're just going to drift onto that, see how that goes. I'll look at some comments, eh? Yeah, okay, thanks, Jamie. Good audio. I know a guy here, one of my students that I went fishing with, and he caught the biggest luderick here. Like, it was like a 2.5 kilo luderick. The thing was fucking huge. Went around the boat about 18 different times. Miles, the guy's name was. And man, it was cool to watch. Wasn't a fish show at all. We were basically talking him through how to land the fish and all that sort of stuff, and should have seen the smile on his face. I love that about fishing. Right now, I'm just targeting kind of the lighter areas between the darker ones. Had a couple of fish bite. Oh, couple of fish bite this morning. Over here, there's one right there. There's fish getting around. The weed. What do you reckon, Johnny? You ain't looking too good. You can go up the system or not. You go back to those flats down the front. Yeah, there seems to be more fish down the front than there were. And there are here. So might end up doing that. Fast cast down the down. It's not big. All right. There's an edge just directly on the other side of this point. Got some fish on that before, just sinking some plastics down to the bottom. So the whole bay kind of pushes up against that edge. So we keep that one. See how that goes. We'll note the kill switch is out so we don't run into any problems there. There we go. Life jacket, be a good boy. Blade further here. Just going to go up this deep and drop off for this ledge here. Like I said, some fish. Oh, Jesus, it's getting a bit windy, isn't it? So just basically going to work a line directly in front of the boat up to the point that you can see on the left. Pants up. Yeah, belt. Again, it's interesting. I know this little ledge here is having some weed on it, but my recollections are not as much weed as what I've got now. This will be time to switch some blood worm, I think. Sun's up high, there's not a lot of cloud. Anyway, I can get some blood worm in there. Do that at the next one. The reason I'm fishing this spot at the moment is we've got this ledge off to the left that you guys can see that the wind's pushing up on it, so it's hitting this edge on the left-hand side here, and then it's pushing everything around to the corner where I am here. It's kind of like forcing all the fish or the bait. If there's anything in the ambush, we kind of come out behind it. If there's anything in the ambush. The scope doesn't look like a whole lot here now. There's some movement. Oof, a bit windy, a bit chilly. Ooh, struggling. Oh, I'm done with this. Done with it. Head back to the flats at the front. That's what I try and hit some areas that fires that I haven't hit before. I usually go up the back and try all the known spots. But today we're just doing a little bit different. So stay with you guys for probably another 45 minutes. 2 more spots and then we're off. Maybe I should trim the boat this time before I take off. Swim right down, much as it can. Just get this going.